Hey, yo, what's up, fellas? Today, me and Henry are talking about the news from a leftist perspective. Never been done before. You want to go say what you want to say, Henry?
And I don't know. I didn't have a whole presentation set up.
You were
Particularly, I
supposed
think.
to.
There's a lot of stuff that happened. But I don't know. The U.S. I guess the U.S. and India, falling out is kind of crazy.
I think that's very. I think that's very on par for Trump, honestly. Honestly, I've seen a lot of Indian nationalists like saying like, "Oh man, this is gonna build up India. This is our chance to build it up." Like, no, the fuck you won't. No, the fuck you won't. Like, come on. Come on. Like the reason that India isn't built up isn't because like it lacks wealth. Like India is the fourth largest economy on earth. It's just because of the insane inequality within that society. I mean, like the wealth inequality in that society is just massive,
Yeah.
more than
I
like any
mean,
other I can think of. Like,
the corruption, like bureaucratic incompetence, and the whole philosophy since like the 90s has just been like neoliberalization of the state and stuff, but there's no like real like state direction and like the development of the economy or anything. So it's just super destructive and yeah,
absolutely.
I
And
don't
then
know.
there's also like such a sense of like national embarrassment, but the people who have that national embarrassment are the source of that national embarrassment. You know, it's like the BJP. Like they'll be like, oh my god, you know, India's this, India's that. It's like, well, what's the source? It's like the neoliberal state of India. Like what else? Like when you can talk about like sort of like an Indian golden-ish age is when it had like a somewhat robust welfare state, right? Like post independence, India literally had within its constitution, it's a socialist state. It still has that today, actually. Um,
Yeah.
and welfare actually, there used to be some welfare programs and some state spending on like basic people, and like that's when like most people can sort of like trace like, oh man, this was like whatever a golden age, and obviously it wasn't real socialism and everything like that, but the gutting of the Indian welfare state, especially since like the '90s, I mean, it's just been it's just been
Yeah.
fucking insane. Like I don't
In the
know.
middle of this is just like gone. Yeah. But it is crazy because it's just like it's just so hard for the US to fuck up like a relationship with India, and Trump somehow did it. I mean,
Yeah.
because I would say like the Modi government wanted to be aligned with the US, if anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It wanted to play this like little. I mean, Pakistan and India both play off of like the American and Russia bloc. I feel like a little
Yeah.
bit, but they're both of them are more in the America bloc. Like they prefer to be in the America bloc, but they'll be in like the Russia bloc or the whatever bloc if they want to. Obviously, India's nowhere near the China bloc, even though it is in BRICS. But it's crazy because India was just selling Russian oil. I mean, they were getting away with it, and selling it to the EU. And Trump decided to what like put tariffs on India rather than the EU. Like what the fuck? Like I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of amazing. And also, India's our counterbalance to China. What the fuck is he thinking? Like what
Yeah,
is he
no,
thinking?
exactly. That's the thing is, and it's so easy to not fuck up. And bro really fucked it up. I mean, good, I guess, but it's just kind of unbelievable. And also,
Yeah.
it's like, what are they supposed to do? Just like not have electricity, have like even less electricity, you know? It's like, it's already like not exactly the most robust energy grid in the world. Like,
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do? Um,
Rely on the cow manure more for like the fireplaces and shit. You know. I don't know. Like
yeah,
yeah, I guess. I don't know.
dude, it is definitely, but I mean, it's also crazy to see the switch in terms of like Indian nationalists being like pro-Israel, pro-US to just like waking up and being like, fuck it, fuck the US. It's
Nationalism is
cool.
so random. I swear to God, like it'll just be you'll be on a team and then you'll be off that team at like a flip of a switch, you know. And it's just like whatever suits like your country's business interests more, you know. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
America's our best friend. Israel's our best friend. You know, pretty soon. Oh, dude, remember when Israel accidentally made it so that India didn't own Kashmir? in one of their fucking maps, and like all
Oh
the
yeah.
Indian chuds on Twitter went fucking crazy. And one of them said like, "Make Kashmir India or I salute Hitler now." Like that was so fucking insane. But that is
Make
nationalism right there.
make
Like they go
Kashmir
from like
India. No, I think it was like make Kashmir India or I will say I love Hitler. Oh my God. Like I will say it. Like I'm going to say it.
and then
Um,
uh, and then the
but it's
IDF was
crazy
literally
because
trying to
you'll
defend
see like
itself.
you will have like Twitter accounts that have like Hitler and Netanyahu like on it, like on some of the Hindu for nationalists. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, that is like Hindutva ideology. Um, it
Yeah,
basically is just like an admiration for Hitler and Zionism. I mean, it basically is. Also, Hitler isn't that disliked in India,
yeah,
because yeah, because like it's really more so the British that are seen as like the Hitler of India, and to some extent that's like justify like the British being the big bad guys. I don't know why Hitler is sort of portrayed as like a nationalizer that was reformed his country though. I have no clue about that part. I don't know.
yeah. It's like it's funny too because the Nazis helped with one of the KMT like Chinese military brigades when Japan was invading. They helped with like one of their units early on, and so there also are some people in China who like love Hitler and just have like a really terrible view. And it's like even though he allied with Japan, like you know, it's like
Yeah.
I've talked to people where like they just won't hear it. It's just like nah. And I guess it makes sense because it's just like, oh, people in the West think this guy's really bad. So like, my reality is different and in history, like it's usually the fucking opposite of what they're saying. So I can understand it in like that kind of sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Japan, like there were people who also like defected to Japan, like in India too, and like even like the broad public treated them as heroes after the war.
Yeah. I mean, I also think it also aligns a little bit with like casteism, Aryan theory. I mean, there's a lot of connections there.
Hmm.
Brahmin, Aryan theory, things like that. So, of course.
Hmm.
Um, moving on, DSA recently passed a resolution for anti Zionism, labeling it as the same as sexism, fascism, racism, and also lifted their ban.
Anti-Zionism?
Anti Zionism. Oh, yeah. What did I say?
Wait. So they're saying anti-Zionism is like racism?
No, no, they're saying Zionism is racism.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, okay. And then also they lifted their ban on Leninist vanguard democratic centralist factions within the DSA. So
Yeah,
now
that
we
is
can have
pretty big. How did that happen? Like, what was
uh,
the?
it's been a lot of grassroots by the caucuses because there's like Maoist caucuses. There's like it's called the Liberation Caucus, and then there's a lot of Leninists in the DSA in general, mostly Maoists though. And they just slowly built it up over the time. They built up their power. It barely passed though. I think the margin was like by 56%.
Hmm,
So yeah,
that's pretty interesting though.
yeah, no, it is absolutely. I mean, I think it's a very positive development. It shows the American left is finally getting out of its baby phases, becoming
Hmm.
like a serious thing. And especially having Democratic centralist caucuses within the DSA, I think would be really helpful, honestly, overall. Um,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just a good organizational strategy. But yeah, that's definitely big. I mean, yeah, and then also there's the ongoing like Jeffrey Epstein thing. And then, I mean, I feel like part of the just erratic nature of the Trump administration recently has largely been to just distract from that
Mm-hmm.
and just getting really annoyed that honestly it just is probably like absurd pressure right now, especially with the shifting public opinion on Gaza too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing about the Jeffrey Epstein shit is like he didn't even need to. Like he's the one who released the statement, like or the
Yeah,
video saying that Jeffrey Epstein what was it? What was the statement by Kash Patel? Uh it was something like, well, first of all, they released a video saying he didn't kill himself or no, he wasn't murdered or anything. And it had
yeah,
like a minute put out. And then they also said something like, let me see, Patel, Epstein, file. What did they say? He wasn't guilty of sex trafficking, right? Something of that. Singular
I don't
name.
remember that. I thought it was just like
Oh, there
they
is
just
no list. That's what they said. There is no Epstein list. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Which is an absolutely like the thing is, if Trump had just shut up for 4 years, nobody would have known. Nobody would have even thought about it. Like his base would have been
no.
quiet. Everybody would have been quiet, but he had to get Patel to release it. And really, I
Yeah,
think it's because of his ego. Like he had to like, oh, I'm innocent. I gotta like, I can't let people thinking about this. Even if like quietly.
yeah. No, I mean it is it is insane. I don't know how like yeah. Again, it's just like they're just missing the easy shots.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like I guess it's good. It is good, but it's just pretty unbelievable. Like, you
Yeah.
you want to think like people in power are like at least somewhat competent, but this is just insane. Like, yeah, he could have just said nothing, or he could have just come in and said the Democrats, you know, the dirty Democrats destroyed the list because they wanted to protect themselves, and
Easily.
everyone would have believed him. I mean, his like base would have believed him, but they couldn't even think of something like that. It's absurd.
Honestly, the best policy would have just been silence. Like 4 years of silence. People would have asked him about the Epstein list. He would have just been quiet. Like, or yeah, sure. Like say like the Biden blocked it or whatever, or like burned it. Like sure, but no, no,
Yeah.
no. He had to get Patel to release that fucking statement saying there's no Epstein list. He had to get the FBI to release a video where like 1 minute is cut out, where like obviously that's when they killed him. Um, and then like I don't know, like it's just been a mess since then, and he's just been eating shit out after and after and after. They released like a birthday card where he wrote like Epstein like the most loving message ever. Like you have to have
Oh
reread it.
yeah, yeah.
Like it was something like you and I Epstein like we're one of a kind or something like that. Like and they were role playing within the card. Like he had like a dialogue between him and Epstein. Like and none of this would have gotten released if he just shut up. And
Yeah.
honestly, I will say Trump has all the erratic behavior of like a late stage like Chinese emperor. Like a late dynasty Chinese emperor. Like right
Yeah.
before that mandate of heaven comes in, and changes
He's
the
moving
emperor.
like the three pashas. Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, it's like it's got to be like some sort of like look, they both have their own kind of dementia, right? Like Biden was like incompetent dementia. Trump is like very like erratic dementia. I feel
Well,
like.
Biden was like incompetent unless it was time for genocide, and then he was just the most. He then the old Biden came out.
That's
It's
when he
like he
walked
heard the
in.
word genocide and he became 30 years younger. Everything else, he's asleep.
every fiber
Well,
of his like
literally, because that was the only thing he like seemed to put any effort into. I guess he really, I mean, he went to Ukraine too, which is insane.
yeah.
He even did that, but like that was the only thing he put in any effort. Like the only thing he put any effort on was like pretending to be looking for a ceasefire and like all this shit. Um, Everything else he's asleep. But Trump is just like, I don't know. He is also such a showboat that like I don't know. He kind of just is used to shaking hands with people and just like showing up and like being this larger than life personality and entertaining people. But I think he like tries to get people that are just really loyal,
Mm.
but people that are really loyal tend to be really stupid. And so now he's just frustrated with this like circle of people that are even dumber than he is. And like, I mean, I even heard like he was on the phone like yelling at Netanyahu the other day because Netanyahu was saying there's no famine, and he was yelling at him like stop telling me that or something. It's like you're not like tapped into this, like you're not like I don't know, like you don't get it. You know what I mean? Like you really think that this is like you would think that those people would be capable and like evil, but just like kind of like you know that kind of thing wouldn't happen, that he would know like of course they're trying to kill people there and like build new housing developments and stuff, you know what I mean? But he's just kind of bumbling around. It's kind of crazy.
No, no, he's genuinely. I mean, I think Trump is like the ultimate proof that like we always give like the feds too much credit, like in terms of like how good they are, like OPSEC, and how competent they are. Like,
Uh-huh.
the only reason that they've been able to stop like communist movements and leftist movements is just because they had more funding. Like other than
Yeah,
that, like they're completely incompetent.
yeah.
I 100% believe that. Like, there's this video that that one guy put around. Those two Australian guys, the ones who are gay. You know them? It's the gay couple. One has a
No.
mustache. He's from Yugoslavia. Anyways, they went to the CIA base in Australia, and they were the biggest CIA base like outside of the America or some shit like that.
Um,
And they're at like a casino like right outside of it, and they're just talking to drunk agents, and the agents are just spilling all their beans, like everything. They're like, oh yeah, I work for the CIA. I'm on this mission. I'm doing this. They're so fucking incompetent. They're like so fucking incompetent. They're like telling like a random guy with a camera in a casino, like while shit faced drunk, like all their secrets. Like
yeah.
I think that's we know we've given the government too much credit. Honestly, that's all I'm saying. Like it's incompetent. You know, like on all levels to some extent.
Yeah. Or yeah, just like resources and like money, power. Yeah, but what else have I feel like there has been a bunch of crazy shit. I mean, the tariffs are still I feel like the tariffs, it has to just be like farmers and like car companies or something. I don't like what capitalists want this.
Um,
Like it has to just be domestic manufacturers or something.
it can't even be farmers because the tariffs also fuck over farmers. Like especially like the way China
And
retaliates.
they fuck over everyone.
You know,
Yeah,
and
but it's like why?
it can't even be car
Like
manufacturers because a lot of car manufacturing happens in like China, Japan, like shit like that, like outside of America. Um,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who what capitalist class Trump is exactly benefiting, and in fact, to some extent, I kind of wager that he was sort of put in as like a wrecking ball by the capitalist class. Like like we'll clean up house. We'll like get rid of everybody's welfare. We'll get like ultimate power. But they like sort of overestimated how much of like a wrecking ball he is, and how incompetent he is. And I don't know. They're getting like gassed by their own supply. Like the tear gas is like coming back into their eyes. I don't know, like to some extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't get the tariffs thing. Like, why is he so die hard on? You know what I will say? Actually, there's been decades of anti-China sentiment growing within Washington, especially as Washington grows high on its own supply. And this
Hmm.
tariff policy has just been like in the making for decades, against
Hmm.
China. Against the rest of the world, though, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It doesn't I mean, yeah, but even like I was kind of confused about why, because I've heard like people in the auto industry say that like Chinese cars are inevitably going to come into the American market. And I was always kind of confused because I was like, why can't they just tariff them, and just keep them out? But I was learning today because companies like BYD are just building factories in so many countries, the US would effectively have to tariff the whole world to avoid Chinese cars getting into the American market. And so all the American auto executives are actually freaking out because they're just going to get completely cooked. Um, so that it is bizarre because it is like they have to understand on some level that it's a sinking ship, like maybe they think that they can just build up manufacturing capacity or something in the meantime and then become competitive, but this is not going to happen. I mean, even like, have you heard about like all of the rare earth minerals have been blocked basically from American defense contractors, and they just like can't build anything now, or
by
at least
who?
they won't. Yeah, they won't be able to by the end of the year because they have stockpiles, but because China controls like all of the refinement of rare earths, they just can't do anything. And they're trying to like open up mines and processing facilities in the US, but they just can't do it. And it would take like decades and decades. So I don't know. it is pretty insane. I don't know what the idea even is.
I think the idea is that there is no idea. I mean, he's just incompetent, really. And I think a lot of it is just people getting high on their own supply. Like these Washington circles have been saying shit like this for decades now, and it's especially like there's always been like an undercurrent of people who wanted to tear off other countries, build back up American manufacturing, like especially like economists and lobbying groups,
Mhm.
and I don't know, like
Yeah,
Washington policymakers and bureaucrats, and this is their time to shine. Um,
yeah, that's
so
true.
I don't know. It's always been like that. Moving on, Netanyahu and his cabinet have announced that they're going to seize Gaza.
Yeah,
Basically, I think like this is done in order to hold together the Likud party coalition within the Knesset because it's a very shaky coalition between Smotrich, Ben Gavir, who represent like settlers in the West Bank, who are like even more fanatical than Netanyahu. And the fact
mhm.
that Netanyahu was forced to give in like a little bit of aid and even like airdrop in a little bit of aid already was threatening that coalition because Smotrich and Ben Gavir, they don't want to let any aid into the Gaza Strip. So like in order to appease them, he went against the Israeli Defense Ministry cabinet itself, like the IDF itself, the head of the IDF itself, who said like we're not gonna be able to capture Gaza in order to pass a resolution to capture all of Gaza,
Yeah,
which to some extent like that's such a hard sell to the Israeli people because they know that said capture would kill the hostages. I mean, the government doesn't give a fuck about the hostages, but Israeli citizens obviously to some extent do. Wait, do they? I really can't tell sometimes.
yeah. No, I mean they have like protests about all the time and shit. I think it's especially like the families of people
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it is at the same time like pretty demented that all they care about is just like, and again, like, yeah, their families are there, but it's like they don't give a shit about the genocide at all. It's just
No.
like
No.
their
I mean,
relatives.
I gotta say, Hamas was so smart getting hostages. Like honestly, that was the only way they were gonna be able to break Israeli society apart. You know, like if they had done the Operation Flood and not gotten any hostages, Israeli society would be 100% on the side of whatever is happening in Gaza right now. Like there
Yeah.
wouldn't be any opposition right now. At least there's protests, even if they are ineffectual and stupid.
Mhm.
Um, not to mention uh, a lot of Israelis don't even want to serve in Gaza, right? Like that's like that. It is very much like a death sentence, or at least like a PTSD end yourself kind of sentence, like serving in Gaza. It's not a. It's a very hard sell to the Israeli population right now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna move forward. Like how are they gonna actually capture the Gaza Strip? How they're gonna hold it? It sounds impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess the idea is they'll just be able to like murder everyone there and then like just build settlements. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, also I heard like Ireland was going to sanction Israel, and not like the United States government is threatening Ireland.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think their main issue is just like public opinion is so against them, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And yeah, I mean, you can see like how desperate they've gotten. The Israeli government has gotten, and like Zionist organizations have gotten, because they're just like the amount of resources they have to be expending on social media and in the news um, has got to be enormous. And you have people like the head of the ADL, what's his name, Alan, like Greenblatt or something. But the head of the ADL basically like sacrificing his whole career as a supposedly supposed civil rights lawyer, just defending Israel. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Jonathan Greenblatt.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
who apparently worked under Obama. That's crazy. Well, not that crazy. I'm not surprised.
yeah. Yeah, that is insane though.
No, no, it absolutely is. And,
That is,
Israeli society has lost in every single way except government support. Like, on every single cultural, ideological, propaganda front, they've lost the world's sympathy. They've lost the masses. The only thing that keeps them going is the enormous amount of military aid that's sent by governments, and at this point, very unpopularly by all these government civilians.
Yeah.
Ireland itself, they're banning. Ireland itself isn't even sanctioning Israel necessarily. They're only sanctioning uh, 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 they, companies that work with illegal Israeli settlements in the West Bank, and even that is too much for like the Zionist hegemony, and America is going after Ireland for it, which I
Yeah.
think every time America does like stupid shit like that, like over the smallest things, like Israel isn't gonna get hurt by Ireland banning uh, companies that work with illegal Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Like that's not gonna hurt Israel fundamentally. But every time America does that, it just drives the wedge and like the death knell of Israel like further. Every time it does stupid shit like that. Slovenia's banned arms exports to Israel. Germany has promised to ban arms exports that are used to Gaza, so they're still going to give them arms exports regardless, but they're going to ban any that technically go to Gaza. So I don't know. Israel's becoming increasingly isolated on the world stage because everybody hates Jews or something. I don't know. Everybody's anti-Semitic. We're all Hamas, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It is pretty. It is pretty unbelievable. Um, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's probably gonna be even more of a shit show in the future. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely. I mean, and also like on a broader level, it's almost like the U.S. is just like throwing all of its hegemony under the bus. Like, oh, not quite for Israel, but the fact that it's happening at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
almost is like gives that impression because it's like that's the only ally Israel or that's the only ally America has with a Europe. Like America is gonna like vassalize them, and like with India they'll like put a bunch of tariffs on them, but Israel's like the only country where it's just like complete and unconditional support, although they are definitely losing it little by little, but it's gonna take a long time, I think.
Yeah, it's absolutely not happening at a fast enough rate that any of us would desire. The amount of aid that America has sent Israel has just gotten to an unsustainable level, though, in my opinion. Like, especially within recent years, especially since October 7th. Like, I don't know how much longer America can keep on sending Israel the blank check at this rate while also getting all of its welfare programs. Like, it's got to create an unstable situation to some extent. No,
Yeah.
on addition to like price gouges from tariffs, like it's gonna get it's gonna get insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's also did you see there was like a mega like influencer civil war with all these women arguing about like an engagement ring.
no.
It was pretty insane. It was just like these women who are all like MAGA influencers and like far right influencers, and one of them posted an engagement ring, and that turned into just like this insane dog fight on Twitter, um, basically just like insulting the shit out of each other. But it was pretty funny, honestly. It was just the most like outrageous like insults you could imagine. Just like, and it's funny too because you can see like all these left wing or all these right wing influencers like they all hate each other. Like their dream is just to like shit on each other and just like put other people down basically for their own prominence.
Mm. And also to go back, I'm so sorry about going back to Israel, but the way that Israel has lost its favor with the media class too, I think really has been deafening.
Mm.
Especially as like even CNN is now running stories about starvation in Gaza, and there's this article by Foreign Affairs, which is the most cucked like pro U.S. like bullshit whatever like magazine
Yeah.
ever. It's like literally like a neocon like cum rag, and even they said like 5 days ago Israel is fighting a war it cannot win. Um, its goal is to destroy Hamas, but Israel still has no defined political endgame. Like, like everybody can basically see the writing on the wall for like where this goes, which is like not good for Israel, except I don't know the inner members of the Knesset and Netanyahu's team, and that's only because Netanyahu and the Knesset are held hostage by these hardliners like Ben Gavir and Smotrich, who like every time Netanyahu, who himself is crazy and a genocidal maniac, but anytime he tries to de-escalate in a way that would guarantee the long-term survivability of the Israeli state, Smotrich and Ben Gavir fuck it up, and then cause Israel to go into its like death drive. Like it's a society basically set up on killing Palestinians and expanding itself and bombing everybody within sight. Um, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and the psychology of these people are insane, especially the people with Ben Gavir. Um, because they're just like they're just unashamed fascists, basically. They don't even have any qualms about, I mean, it's pretty insane. And also, I think like Israeli society is a good example of the way that class struggle is deeply connected to settler colonization, because a lot of the pressure for the settlements and annexation comes from the petite bourgeoisie and the working class, because they can just go and get a free house, basically. And so, as class conflict intensifies within Israel, it gets projected outwards onto the occupied territories, onto Palestinian communities that are being, settled essentially.
Yeah, yeah. The MAGA influencer fight, that shit was so funny though. I remember what you're talking about now. Wasn't it because like the ring was too small, something like that? It was like a small carrot ring, right? That was the fight, right?
Yeah. Um, yeah, because the ring was too small. Yeah.
And then they started fighting over that, right? And then where did the fight go? It was like something about like men don't owe women anything, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I saw that people just saying like you're like a fucking um just like you're a stupid piece of shit. Like
Mm,
you're fucking, I don't know. It was ridiculous.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, like it's crazy. All these influencers just hate each other, and they just want to like, um, yeah, they just want like more fame. Basically, they want more attention, and it does kind of put into context like people on the left wing tend to argue because they believe in things more or less, and people on the right wing just argue just for the sake of self promotion, essentially. And I mean, like, who can deny, like, you know, everyone on some level, like, on our worst days, likes to argue to look better than someone else. But
yeah,
like on the right wing, it's crazy, um, like how big of a thing that is. At the end of the day, a lot of people on the left do genuinely care about shit, even if what they're arguing about is kind of stupid. But people on the right, uh, yeah, just only care about themselves. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's all pick me's too. I'm looking through the tweets right now. It's all pick me's. Like it's all women like saying like, this ring is dumb. This ring is good. And I will say the ring is very tiny. Like it is a fucking tiny ass. Like I don't know. He got her like a 1 carat ring. You know, he could have at least gotten her like a fake diamond. You know those fake diamonds that are like the lab manufactured ones that are cheaper. What are those called? Like zirconium or something?
I don't know.
Okay. Speaking of that, no, no. Moving on. YouTube is gonna start using AI verification. So you're gonna need to present your ID next week in order to go into YouTube. And I think it's part of like just the larger trend of like the West implementing in its own firewall, like the Chinese Great Firewall, except like it's because people keep on searching up about Palestine and shit like that.
Yeah,
Um, Britain very recently passed like its anti like child protection laws where like children aren't supposed to see like porn, but like in reality they're just using it to like block people from accessing Palestinian articles. Like it's fucking insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Yeah, definitely just ridiculous draconian censorship. Do you have to do it if you're an adult? I thought it was just like if it thought you were underage, it would ask for your ID.
Let me
But I mean,
see.
if they do that, I'm not using YouTube anymore. That's crazy.
Um, Machine learning age, estimate their age, so teens are treated as teens and adults as adults. Will closely monitor, but like also the thing is like the majority of YouTube watchers are already like babies. Like the majority of them are babies watching Miss Rachel and like really
Yeah,
bad AI slop on YouTube Shorts. Like they're already killing their main income stream. Like what the fuck are they doing? I don't
yeah.
understand it. I don't understand it. They're immediately they're already like destroying their own uh, business model essentially, and they're doing it self-imposed. The government's not asking them, are they?
No, no. I think the government's asking them. I definitely don't think they're gonna do it. Just wait, do you know? There's no way.
No, there's no, none of the news articles say the government's making them do it.
That's nuts. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Are they stupid?
Maybe Trump gave them a call or something, like saying like if you don't do it, I will pass some legislation that forces you to do
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's the only thing that even remotely makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Um, Moving on to the UK, also, they've prescribed Palestine Action, which was a group that was so fucking dope, bro. Like it would literally like spray paint like warplanes, so like they couldn't fly because like if you get like spray paint in the warplane wings, like they have to dock them. They would like they would like fuck up like factories that manufactured weapons. Like honestly, props to the British for that kind of shit. They prescribed it as a terrorist group, and yesterday 466 people were arrested for like protesting. They were like prescribed as Palestine Action, and they were arrested for protesting for Palestine. Um, 466, like that's the fucking craziest shit I've ever heard. Oh, and also shout out to Sophia, who was on this podcast. She also got arrested in Northern Ireland,
Mhm.
protesting for Palestine. Very similar measures. Um, I don't know what's going on in the UK. They're sort of, you know, say what you will about Orwell. Say what you will about his anti-tanky thing. Say what you will about
Mhm.
this and that. Him describing British society devolving into utter bullshittery, I think was absolutely on the money, right?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
out of everything that he was wrong on, he was right that Britain is naturally just going to devolve as a society, you know,
Yeah,
into like poverty, into like an authoritarian government. Like, I
yeah.
think that part he was right on.
I
Not,
like
not the rest
Anthony,
of the shit.
like Clockwork Orange, like Anthony Burgess too. Yeah, Clockwork Orange is really basically what England is today.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that shit. And also, Orwell's concept of doublespeak, I think he was spot on with that. Like I will say, like as a Leninist, as an authoritarian, as a tanky, I think doublespeak he was spitting there, and he was also spitting that Britain's gonna devolve as a society into a bunch of poor fucking people under authoritarian government. You know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I mean, it is absurd. I mean, and it's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting because it's like it just goes to show this natural evolution of capitalism,
mm,
um, like cannibalizing the state and just privatizing everything in the state, um, and like then kind of creating like recreating class struggle. Because really, it's kind of wild how lost on capitalists it is that the NHS and like social services was really the thing that kept class struggle at bay, more or less. It's not like the Frankfurt School where they like to say, oh, it's because of like Netflix and, you know, because of like all the little toys and trinkets people could buy. Like it was the fact that you could actually eke out um, an actual living and like not and get healthcare and food and so on, but ever since 1991, like they're just completely cannibalized and like eaten away at the state and created like a resurgence in class struggle. And then the response is to just militarize the state, engage in censorship and violence, essentially.
Yeah, no, the fall of the USSR, and the fall of like a socialist ideological enemy has really allowed all these states to just devour themselves internally. I mean, I really think the only thing that was keeping capitalism together during the Cold War was a common enemy, right? And Arabs and radical Islam, um, that's not really a good enough enemy to hold your societies together hegemonically as socialism was. Because socialism was essentially just against everything that the West stood for, like capitalist West, and it allowed them to hold these societies together and also like pass social democratic reforms just to like keep themselves in check. Um,
Mhm.
you know, like radical Islam cannot counter it does not counter like everything Western society is built on like that radically and that fundamentally to the point where they're so afraid that they need to like pass like universal healthcare or invest more in universal healthcare or build affordable housing. And so yeah, no, they've just absolutely what do you say, fucking cannibalize themselves. And in cannibalizing themselves in their own societies, uh, expropriating class struggle, they've invested all that money that they've taken out of welfare into the police state. I mean, it's insane. It's just fucking stupid in every single way. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah, um, yeah. It is. It is. It is pretty wild. But yeah, fucking England is just. It's funny too. Like anyone who lives there, they'll just tell you it fucking sucks. Like basically everyone I've ever talked to who lives there. Um, yeah, I mean England is probably pretty close to the future of the U.S. too. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to imagine what um the economy of the U.S. will look like
yeah.
because everything is being undercut by China.
Everything
Like,
is.
yeah,
America's a
any,
failing empire, just like England. I feel like, and I don't know. Do you think our empire will go out the way England did, where like they went to the Suez Canal to reclaim it from Nasser, and they got their ass kicked by well
yeah.
Egypt and also America, and that was effectively the end of their empire? Or will America's fall be more like quiet and like
I don't know. I
drawn out?
mean, like, what's interesting is that from a strategic perspective, the U.S. should try to force a violent confrontation now because China's military is becoming more powerful and America's military is decreasing in capability because our manufacturing um, capabilities have been basically obliterated, and on things like shipbuilding, it's basically gone. And so, from a strategic perspective, the U.S. I think should want to get Taiwan to declare independence to try to get China to get involved in some kind of war. Um, but I don't know. I don't think that even like the CIA backed like party in Taiwan that runs Taiwan right now, like even I don't think even they are stupid enough to do that. And even if they did, I doubt China would really. I mean, China might just say, "Fuck it." Why why would we do this? Basically, it doesn't really matter. Um, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting. Um,
It
but
also
yeah, it
see
does seem like a military confrontation of some kind is kind of unavoidable. But you know, definitely the U.S. is declining in terms of power. Um,
yeah
but
yeah.
I don't know. In all likelihood, that will probably be better for the average person, especially when you think about the amount of resources spent maintaining the military and like a presence all over the world.
hmm I also think Chinese like weapons manufacturing is just like blowing America out of the water. I mean, their J-10 fighter jets are just insane. The way that they were able to prove themselves superior to the French ones in the Indo Pakistan war that we just had, um, uh, just I mean, America is losing on all fronts. It's losing even on its military technological advancement capabilities because of how much just bloat it has within itself, how much bureaucracy it has within itself, how many middlemen it has within itself. That
Yeah,
China is able to streamline their own defense weapons manufacturing systems to a point where they're like starting to slowly but surely beat America in terms of military innovations. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, like a lot could happen. I mean, like who really knows, like, what'll happen. But if current trends continue, I mean, like everything's going to, I mean, even like things like airplanes, which the US and or at least Europe has like a pretty good advantage on. I mean, like every plane in the world basically is made by Boeing or Airbus. But I mean, like the Chinese company Comac is probably just going to take over all of that. I mean, given enough time. Um, and yeah, and it's also interesting too because it's like if things can be manufactured so efficiently and at such a low cost, like what country could compete? You know what I mean? It's sort of interesting. Like, um, I don't know. I don't really know what the world economy looks like if things continue in like the current trajectory. I mean, it's definitely better than the US running everything and like doing genocides everywhere. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure because it's no longer a question of like comparative advantage where one country makes this and the other country makes that and they have different resources. China's looking like it'll just be able to make whatever the most efficiently. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So then, what does that imply?
Yeah, I think it just implies the slow but sure like demise of the U.S. empire, and also it just implies that like Americans are not ready like culturally whatsoever to not be the top dog in the world anymore.
Yeah,
Um, and I think a lot of American culture right now, even Trump himself, is a reaction to this like truth that everybody is sort of trying to avoid, but is inevitable. Is really just that like America's gone, the American century is gone. You cannot restore it, and they're trying to cling on to that fantasy to a large
yeah,
extent.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
moving on to
yeah.
some better news today. Oh wait, what were you gonna say?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. Moving on to some better news today. LA passed a $30 minimum wage for tourism workers, so that's a W. That's absolutely a W. I mean, LA is just an unlivable city in general. I mean, I don't even think you can live with $30. Even I don't know. Even that's too little.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, it is definitely good. Um, yeah. I mean, also the Texas like senators all left because they're trying to gerrymander everything, and then it's like such a gerrymandering is such a dumb issue. Um, I mean, it is like such a obviously it's like by definition partisan, but I don't know. It's just like such a absurd issue, really. I mean, like what is
Hmm.
gonna like what's gonna change? Because they gerrymander Texas more.
Five Democrats would lose their seats, pretty much. So I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
much would change other than that.
it's like, it's not like they're gonna vote differently. Basically, I mean, I guess maybe they'll be slightly less evil, but I don't know.
I don't know.
It is crazy they're gonna arrest them though.
Well, what I will say is that Texas has been moving a little bit more into a purple state. So slowly but surely, like Democrats have been gaining ground, especially as people move into Texas. So this
Hmm.
might be like an attempt by the Texas like Republican elite at holding on to power. I don't know, like a fight between Republicans and Democrats. I think is funny. I think them having like arrest warrants for Democrats is funny. Like whatever. Like who cares about this like inter bourgeois fighting? The only Democrat from Texas, I will say, who is who is somewhat respectable is Al Green.
Hmm.
He's very anti-Zionist. He's very firmly anti-Zionist. He stands by his principles on being for like universal health care. He in fact, when Trump's nomination, he was one of the only ones to actually say some shit, actually try some shit, and he actually got condemned by the rest of the party. They passed a
Yeah, I
resolution against
remember.
Al
Yeah.
Green, so he's the only one I respect in the whole Democratic Party somewhat. Like he's still a social democrat, but obviously he has fucking principles. He sticks by them.
Hmm.
I don't think like that can be said about most Democrats really. Other than that, I don't know. Gerrymander the whole fucking U.S. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not like we have a real democracy. Honestly, 100% gerrymandering in California, 100% gerrymandering in all the red states, 100% gerrymandering in New York. Just make the district maps look like children's drawings. Like, I support that 100 fucking percent.
Yeah.
I think American democracy is a scam. I think it's a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, and I think it's so funny whenever they gerrymander. Honestly, also gerrymander the fuck out of AOC's district. Like, turn it into like 10 little districts. Fuck up AOC. I hate her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be like, it is. I mean, yeah, they should just like draw like letters
Yeah.
like hello or something like that with
69.
the. Yeah,
69. They
yeah,
should have like 69 420. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Government, please put us in charge of that shit. Oh, Trump sanctions on fucking semiconductors. And also, what the
Mhm.
fuck was he thinking with that? What is he thinking with any of this? Why is he doing tariffs on semiconductors? What the fuck is he doing? Like, what do you think the reasoning behind that is? Like, does he honestly think who told him we could make semiconductors in America? Who the fuck told him we could make semiconductors in America? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's literally like one of the hardest. I mean it's no, it's the hardest thing to manufacture. Like, I mean, and also, Intel, apparently the company Intel is like circling the drain. And like Intel is basically failing as a company,
Uh,
because they just basically, yeah, they just like couldn't make semiconductors. They just couldn't do it properly, basically. But yeah, like if Intel can't figure it out, there's zero chance of like whatever semiconductor startup um from doing it.
yeah, and
I
also
mean,
the
like, yeah,
tariff is 100%. It's not even like a 20%, whatever, 30%. It's a fucking 100% tariff. Like, I
yeah,
don't.
that just means everything's gonna be fucking like your phones are gonna be like $5,000.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
absolutely.
he said that they'll be tariffed unless you are in the process of building a fab in the U.S. But then what they're going to do is they're just going to say, "Yes, Mr. President, sir, we're building this huge fab," and then just lie about it
Yeah.
and just not build it, but still be able to circumvent the tariff.
Mm.
Because the problem is that there's just isn't enough technical expertise, and like, I don't know, there's a very limited amount of people in the world that really understand how to build semiconductors properly. So, if they can't figure it out, um, if you can't hire those people and like send them there, I mean, yeah,
This
it's just
this
not
this
gonna
might
happen.
be a racist thing to say, but I do not trust Americans to make semiconductors. I want my semiconductors made by Taiwanese people. Like, I'm so sorry. I only trust Taiwanese people to make semiconductors. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I have trust in Taiwan. I do not trust fucking Americans to make semiconductors. If Americans made semiconductors, that shit gonna explode, I feel like. I mean, I don't know how semiconductors work, but the second you plug that shit in, it's gonna fucking explode. It's
Mhm,
gonna overheat. I don't know. I don't trust Americans to make semiconductors. I want
mhm.
Taiwanese people making them. I only trust Taiwanese people making them.
Yeah,
You know.
this is a pro Taiwan independence. Uh,
Yeah.
we're pro Taiwan because they're good at semiconductors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make it
Uh,
make it the semiconductor
the
republic,
one the one semiconductor policy, the one semiconductor policy. Um,
Um,
yeah, but yeah, no, even like Samsung, like, I mean, Samsung as a company is probably one of the most capable organizations at manufacturing in the world, and they can't make better semiconductors.
yeah, no. I mean, Taiwan's the goat in semiconductor manufacturing. I don't try, you're not going to get anything better than that. And also it's going to be it's going to raise the prices of phones and technology like either way. Like if it gets built in America, which I doubt it's going to happen, labor costs
Hmm.
and everything are going to make your phone still $5,000. And then obviously like the tariffs are going to make it like $5,000. I don't know. It's stupid.
Hmm.
He also got like Nvidia and AMD to pay like 15% of all revenue from any chips they sell to China to the U.S. government, which
Yeah,
I don't know that that's just extortion at some point, right? Like I don't know. I don't know. That's like I feel like he's low key like reinventing Mussolini style corporatism, right? Like no, to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a similar like reaction from capitalists, you know, that just kind of implement this sort of system and set of affairs. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Um, I mean, even like when Hitler came to power too, like one of the first things he did was implement a shitload of huge tariffs.
Mm.
Um, and like in the Smoot-Hawley tariff act too, like it's a weird reaction by capitalists to just like I don't know, lurch
General
towards this
prices.
weird kind of protectionism.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just still waiting for Americans to feel the impacts and like the instability that that's gonna cause. Cause like, I feel like his base, no matter how much his base is loyal to him, they're not gonna be loyal after like 2 months of higher grocery prices or like I don't know, just like basic essential prices.
Yeah,
They can only stay loyal so long, you know.
yeah. It's I mean, yeah, it's literally like I mean, yeah, people just won't be able to survive. Um, basically, yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be so inflationary. I mean, it's going to probably cause like 20% inflation or something ridiculous.
which like America's already suffering from a huge inflation crisis,
Yeah.
which you know.
Yeah. This is going to be some real Weimar Republic. Well, maybe not that bad, but it's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. I can't tell if we're going down like a Weimar Republic route. We're going down like a Great Britain at like the end of its empire route. We're going down like a Chinese dynasty at the end of its cycle route, like before the heavenly mandate. Like I can't tell. Like I feel like and then there's like a little bit of Mussolini sprinkled in there, but I feel like we're like trying to like speed run all of them right now, America. Like we're just trying to get to the ending sooner, right?
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, it is. Yeah. It is interesting, like the relationship between technology and class struggle,
mm,
and like the process of capitalism. Um, like a lot of times people say like, oh, things are changing so fast, like so much technology, whatever. But I feel like it really heightens alienation, and really like accelerates the development of capitalism.
yeah, yeah. Finally, to round it up, Andrew Cuomo is still in the mayoral race, and he said that Mondani shouldn't call for rent controlled apartments, and he should move out of New York City, which I feel like kind of secures his victory. I don't know, like I, Cuomo has been on a historic sort of like I don't know, like fumble after fumble after fumble. I mean, not only was he like ousted first of all from government for being a sex pest, the fact that the fact that the fact that the Democratic Party put all their weight behind him instead of Mandani, like it just shows like how much they're just on the side of losing, on the side of this just this old campaign, and they won't allow anybody new or fresh in, even somebody who's willing to compromise. Like Mandani's walked back on some of the things he said, willing to compromise, and they just won't allow anybody, the Democratic Party machine, anybody to break through their binary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's also just their whole job is essentially to be like be just like I don't want, I feel like controlled opposition is sort of like an overplayed um metaphor, like way to describe it or whatever. But I mean, it is basically what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know.
You know what he also said? He also said that Mandani has properties in LGBTQ hating Uganda. Like, that's such an asshole. Like, that's such an, like, a pink washing asshole. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, he owns a house in Uganda, therefore he's, like, anti LGBTQ? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is also just like I mean, Uganda did like like Uganda is a super homophobic country, but I mean, I think they passed like some legislation like a few years ago that was just like the death penalty for homosexuality, actually. But like, there's no fucking way Andrew Cuomo knows any of that. You know what I mean? He's just being racist.
You think he just like assumed like they're homophobic and he just like tweeted that out? Like,
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is sort of like implying that, he comes from a backwards place or whatever, you know?
yeah, yeah. No, that is true. Um, yeah, that's all I got for news. Unless you got any other news stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much oh, did you see the guy, the guy Big Balls, who is the fucking, like, he was in Doge, like he was one of the little kids that they brought in Doge, in on Doge, and he got the shit beaten out of him by like 14 teenagers. And there's this being used now to justify like the federalization of Washington D.C. And they're probably just going to give Washington D.C. to Peter Thiel.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's like been a plan for a while, but I think that they're going to use this. They're going to use the attack on Big Balls by the 14 teenagers as
Holy
basically
shit!
as an excuse to do this.
You think they orchestrated it, or it just came in handy at like the right time?
Um, I have no idea.
How the fuck you get beat up by teenagers? That's embarrassing. How many were there?
I
Like
know,
three
right?
teenagers? Four teenagers? How the fuck do you as an adult get beat up by teenagers? Come on. Come
Yeah, I know.
on.
The whole story is absurd. I don't know. I have no idea how this is possible.
No. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could scrap with a few. Like, if it's two teenagers, I got it. If it's three, I feel like I'm fucked. Like, I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know. What's your teenager limit?
I don't know. It depends on the teenager. It depends on,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's some of them that can, like, bench, like, 350. Those ones I'm fucked with, I feel like.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But usually they're not. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's pretty ridiculous that they were trying to steal his car and then they like beat the shit out of him. And then this is being used to just like, basically be like the whole city's going to shit, and that's why we need to let Peter Thiel take over, basically. And yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't envy people living in DC. It's pretty fucked up.
Damn.
Although I guess we're all stuck in this shit bucket together. So
Yeah. Damn,
well,
imagine being put under martial law just because a guy got beat up by teenagers. That'd
yeah,
be
because
wild.
this guy couldn't fight some teenagers.
Just because a guy couldn't fight some teenagers. It's the ego, I feel like, to some extent. Oh,
Mm,
also, one thing I'd like to bring up is crypto lobbying has apparently just fucking skyrocketed since Trump got into office. There's
yeah.
27 firms lobbying. What interest do you think they represent? I feel like they represent dark money. No? Like dark money legalized? Because that's always been my impression of crypto. Crypto is just like people who do illegal shit, or people who do like backwards deals, or people who do financial deals that aren't exactly legal,
Mhm.
laundered. Like money made clean. So like I think to some extent this is representing like an aspect of even big financial brokers who are doing like shit that's technically illegal, like legalizing it through money washing. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like oh yeah. I mean, even like the Trump and Melania like crypto coins, like I mean it's the most blatant corruption I think that's ever existed.
Hmm.
I mean it's literally like if you buy more of Trump's coin, like you're essentially giving him money. Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable and it's so shameless. Um, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
almost
yeah,
the government's
they're
become Indian. The U.S. government's become Indian. I feel like, but like even Indian corruption isn't this level. Like just of like selling a coin to people, promising that you'll get rich as like a leader. Like I don't know. Um, Trump coin is down by all time down by let's see Well, it used to be $17. No, $45. Now it's $9. So it's not doing too well. Not doing too well at all. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, no, no, it is insane though how basically just dark money has been legalized so openly. I mean, obviously lobbying has always been legal, but at least
Mhm.
it had like an air of legitimacy to it. You know, like right now they're just
Yeah,
funding
there
us
was
like
some
right and wrong.
decorum.
Yeah, yeah, they just let go of all the decorum pretty much, and they've just gone for it, which I appreciate, but also don't. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I would not say I'm appreciative. It's definitely pretty. I don't know. It's pretty unbelievable. And I guess it is a sign of just like weakening cultural hegemony and like um I don't know. Yeah, there's no. It's crazy because there's no like prosperity doctrine. You know, they've kind of given up on the whole idea that Trump's gonna like make everything like better, or whatever. It's just like, well, at least some other people will suffer too,
Mm.
who I don't like because I'm racist. It's literally at this point the the line, So pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
One more thing.
The crises are definitely coming. The crises are definitely accumulating. The decades are definitely they're packaging the decades into the weeks as we speak, folks.
Yeah, yeah. We're in. We got the package deal. You know, like it's a bundle. We got the decades bundle for the weeks.
We're going up.
From
We're really going up on the roller coaster right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
um,
we're,
one thing that sort of just came and went under like no media fire whatsoever. The Blackstone executive getting killed, and it's a
mhm,
rental company. She was the CEO of the rental company basically, and they demoted her posthumously. The guy, his story makes no sense because apparently they're saying he wanted to get the NFL heads for like some head injuries he got, so he drove all the way from Las Vegas to New York to get
mhm.
the head of the NFL, and he walked into the wrong office. Like the story makes no sense. The fact that they're not talking about it makes no sense. The fact that they're suppressing it makes no sense. And the fact that they even demoted her posthumously from CEO to just executive makes no sense. I honestly, it just sounds like another Luigi happened, and they just don't wanna. They just don't wanna have the public celebrating.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. It was definitely. I mean, definitely a Luigi thing. Um, yeah. I mean, like, just yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, um, there's no way that he went all that way just for the NFL, and also like I don't know. Yeah, it is no way. But yeah, it's definitely interesting because it's one thing like to smash and destroy like a party organization or something, but
Mm.
when it's just this kind of decentralized like vigilantism, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like that's what Peter Thiel and Palantir would like to figure out is like you basically do some kind of minority report and like find these people, but they won't be able to do that. Won't be able to do that. So
And I feel like the surveillance state will just end up getting like random people. They'll end up overplaying their card, getting random people who weren't gonna do it, and the people who actually are gonna do the deed by the gun are gonna slip through. Because especially, I mean, a lot of these guys who are doing the deed by the gun, like Luigi, he was a completely normal, functioning human being. Like
mhm.
honestly, he was driven to madness, obviously by capitalism. But like on the outside, he was just a guy who like went to college. He was hot. He did his job. He came from like an upper middle class family. Uh, these people who are doing the deeds by the gun, they're slipping through the cracks because capitalism is making them mentally unstable on a level that's just never been anticipated before, where it's not even your like typical like stereotypical crazy guy that you would expect to do it, like a guy who has nothing to lose essentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. It's just more and more people are, yeah, becoming disillusioned, and I mean, it's not really. it's not really effective at changing anything, but it's definitely probably scaring the shit out of the ruling class.
It is, and that's why they keep on suppressing it and they don't talk about it. And because what Luigi did was such a cultural moment, and I think they were so surprised that people actually celebrated his death, Brian Thompson's death,
Yeah.
that they're not even they don't want that happening again. They don't want people celebrating a billionaire's death, and so even though billionaires are getting murked left and right, they're suppressing the news on purpose.
Mhm.
Um, Going back to LA, also, there's been protests, very violent protests recently, that have also had no news reporting against
Mhm.
ICE. Thousands of people just clashing with police, absolutely brutal videos coming out, police brutality, all that. And there's just been no media reporting whatsoever, and people have resorted to the hashtag LA Music Festival, just to, like sort of like inventing a fake music festival just for like people to be able to report on it or get eyes on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. Um, and it's pretty remarkable how effective they've been at suppressing information about it.
Mm.
But it's definitely demonstrates like a pretty substantial fear. So yeah.
Yep. Wrapping that up. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. It's been a hoot and a holler. Make your billionaires afraid. Make the ruling classes afraid. In Minecraft, of course. You know, join a Vanguard party. But also, if you want to do a little bit of adventurism, I approve. I approve. If you're listening to this right now,
Bro,
I'm not
you
cutting that out.
definitely have to
I'm
cut
not
that.
cutting that out. I'm not cutting that out. We're keeping that in.
Mhm.
You know,
Really clear. I
and
didn't know.
if you're no, I won't say yes either though.
Mhm.
Like just to legally cover myself.
You won't
Uh,
like give or deny someone permission.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Is that how you legally cover yourself?
I don't know. It
Neither of us know
sounds
either.
right to me.
Yeah, it sounds right
I
to me. I
was
don't
just
give you
going,
permission, or nor do I deny it. Um, and then Henry, you got any last words?
yeah, yeah. No, I don't. I lied. Sorry. But
All
it
right.
is crazy though, because shooter like people do like shooters do say all the time like, oh, I did this because of Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro and whatever, so yeah, there's probably no legal ramifications for it, or maybe they just don't give a fuck when it's right-wing terrorism.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
have a good
I'm
day.
gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut it off right there. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off like right there. Okay. Thank you for listening to the Pokepreet podcast. If you want to support our podcast, you can always head down to our Patreon, where you can get episodes up to a month early. Workers of the world unite. Long live the immortal science of Marxist-Leninism. Thank you.